Welcome. I'm Thomas Calhoun Jr., CEO of Calhoun Diversified Enterprises and founder of OIM Apparel.
And I'm Jamario Walker, founder of JEI Investment Trading.
Thank you for tuning in to Sankofa Exchange, where we recap last week's market action and give you tips for the coming week.
Let's get started.
What's up, Jamario, man? How you doing, brother, man? How was your week?
Man, I cannot complain, man. Well, I can complain. It's not Monday.
Exactly. I know we can't. We need a gift for how you feel when Friday at 4, man, and the market closes. I just don't know what to do with myself, man. I got plenty of work to do, but none of it involves the market, really. But the truth is, the real work for the market is done after the close, right? All your research, all your heavy lifting is done, and then you have to, when the bell rings, you just time to go in the ring and box. You know what I mean? And so. But you want to be able to. But if you haven't done that work outside the ring, it's gonna be murder. It's gonna be murder inside the ring.
Be a quick knockout.
It's been a quick knockout, man. So anyway, let's get to what's hot in these streets, man. So first of all, we got to reclaim our time. Maxine Waters and the folks over at the House Congressional Committee decided to do a hearing on Robinhood and the whole Wall Street bets and Citadel thing. And there's a couple three takeaways I really want everybody to get out of this. And I want to get your take, Mario. Number one, I think that Robinhood is culpable and should be held accountable for any damages that were done. And I do think they have they're on the way to, resolving those damages for some of the folks. They have a pathway for that, but they have to be held accountable for not having necessary liquidity to be able to resolve those trades. And so from a settling perspective, and that's something that we need to really talk about, that T+2 settling thing. That's the fundamental issue. And so that's one of the things. So number one is Robinhood should be culpable. T+2, I didn't realize this, but it used to be T+5.
5 days for money to clear?
Yes, it used to be T+5. They said they moved it to they wanted to go to T+1. Yeah. They moved it to T+3 on the compromise for the first time. And then they've compromised. They made another move to T+2. According to Vlad of Robinhood, there's no technical reason why it can't be real-time closing.
Yeah.
Right. And so that's his perspective. And people don't disagree with him. I feel like there's some bureaucracy in regards to that. And maybe some fear of, illiquidity or adverse consequences to that. So what's ended up happening is that they are trying to push the T+1.
Yeah. I do think that change will happen because of this. That was a big
yes. Mm-hmm. So that's the second thing. The next thing is this wealth tax. I don't understand it. I don't know why we're having this. Like everybody on the panel, everybody being, I guess, interviewed and deposed is saying, look, what's driving this is the drop in commission fees. Yeah. And that's what's driving so many people feeling like, now some people feel like it's gamification and all of that. But at the end of the day, what's driving it is the low cost trades. Yeah. So if you're saying, and everybody also agrees that they want equal access to the market.
Yeah.
So
an education piece in there also, man. These guys jumping in and not being educated on the workings of the market, how to, put on trades and when to get out of that trade. So education is a big part of that.
For sure. And that needs to happen. And that's why that was brought up a lot. But at the end of the day, I don't think a wealth tax is the solution here. No. And I think it's just that needs to be dealt with somewhere else. And the last thing I want to talk about is, look, if they don't have any evidence on the Citadel, let's just drop it, because I don't think anybody is going to admit on camera to the whole country that they were, there's a conflict of interest and they were involved. So I think we should move on from that. I think the next thing we want to get into is this Texas freeze. What did you see about that? What are your thoughts?
Texas need to get its act together, not weatherizing their equipment and want to blame all of that, on the renewable energy sector, saying
Ridiculous.
this is an example of that sector not working. That's not an example of that. It's an example of you guys not doing your job, not taking care of your equipment and taking care of your people, your citizens. They let them down, man.
Clearly, I mean, we have what they call them, flying crews, flying Ted. He want to build a wall and then fly over it.
Yeah, he's only mad he got caught, man. That's it.
That's exactly. So I saw that there were some experts have been brought in. And they said that they needed to weatherize their stuff years ago, maybe back in 2011, and they didn't do it. And like 70 to 80%, they're talking about renewables, but like 70 to 80% of the failure is due to natural gas and coal, right? Powered equipment. So that needs to be dealt with. But I do think that we need to talk later about what that did for renewable energy for the week, and that's the reason why we're bringing it up. And last thing I think we could talk about is this Jay-Z Jack Dorsey Bitcoin deal and what they're going to do to bring Bitcoin to Africa and India. And it looks like there's a lot of people that say, man, I don't trust cryptocurrency. And I don't even know whether I trust it or not, to be perfectly honest with you. But I do know what I see in front of going, I am starting to believe my lying eyes, right? There's something going on and we need to figure out how to be involved with it. But those two are teaming up. I think that team, personally, I think that team is bigger than just what's going on in Africa. Well, that's a really big deal. But on a personal level, I think Jack Dorsey wants to buy title. And I think this whole NFT thing.
Yeah.
And art and being able to, and Jay-Z created title to get more power to the artist.
Yeah.
So I think that team is going to produce something that's going to be very powerful going forward. I don't know if it has anything to do with this particular move, but them working together is going to come out in some way in the music industry. I do believe
not by chance. You're definitely right about that. I got a friend in Nigeria, man, that was telling me that, their government they banned cryptos in Nigeria. And I sent him an article.
Really?
Article here, that Jay-Z is trying to push it and get it reopened in Africa. So it's really big for those guys, man. Right now they can't trade it at all.
That's crazy. And in India, they did the same thing, but they're while they banned it, they are now trying to create their own digital cryptocurrency.
Okay.
Right. So it's if you can't say I feel like I don't trust cryptocurrency, because now all these major governments and cities are trying to use some form of cryptocurrency. So they may be bashing Bitcoin, but behind the scenes they're trying to create Bitcoin, right?
Man.
So definitely it's something to get into. Keep your ear to the street on that. And speaking of keeping,
do you think the U.S. is going to lead in that space, the digital currency space? Because China's already giving theirs out to their citizens now. They're testing it out now, man. We aren't doing that in the U.S. yet.
I don't know.
Somebody's got to lead that space going forward.
I think it will have to be maybe like a communist or socialist country to do something like that, because the citizens don't have very much power.
Yeah.
I think it's hard for the U.S. to do stuff because we're basically run by rich people, rich citizens here. And so no uprising is going to happen that they can't take advantage of before it happens, because they'll just block it. But because if you remember, Jamie Dimon trashed Bitcoin like 2 or 3 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So now here they're trying to, so it's on this thing, they're trying to create their own coin, or they, people are investing in Bitcoin and all this stuff. So, I just think that, I don't know what we're going to do. I don't think it's stable enough to be a currency. So,
yeah.
But I do think some of the technology, I'm very interested in what it could do from a technical standpoint. And I'm also very interested in what it can do from a equity standpoint in terms of colonialism and capitalism and reparations and slave. I think we have a way, if we can figure out how to decentralize, then we have a fighting chance at leveling the playing field. So I'm interested to see, but the only way that can happen is if we really get in it and play and learn it and figure out not just buying and flipping Bitcoin, but like what we can do with it, right? Have a plan. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts?
I like it. I second that, man. It's got amazing potential. I just want to see us use it for the right purposes, man, and come out, as on top of that, get left behind by being afraid, to study it and get into it. I don't want that to happen to us, man.
I would hate to see that happen, because I feel like that'll just be yet another nail in the coffin. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, how many centuries have we been on the dollar or this fiat currency? You know what I mean? Like, how long has that been? What are we personally don't have enough time left in our lifetime to miss, something like this.
I don't miss too many opportunities, man.
Yeah, I can't. I don't have that many left to miss something this big.
This is digital real estate.
So exactly. So let's get into some street slang, brother.
Let's do it. Let's get the people what they came to see. Let's see here.
Got to give the people what they want. Yeah, man, this is a rough week, brother. It was like a short week, and then it went hard for a couple of days. And then Thursday and Friday picked back up.
We're going to check it out and see what happened.
Let's check it out. What we got?
So this is our major indexes. We can see we got the Qs, which is the NASDAQ. It's pretty much the most tech-heavy index, down about 1%. The SPY's down less than 1%, but still down. You got the Dow Jones, the only one being positive for the week.
Yeah.
I doubt that was because of Boeing.
It definitely. Well, actually, Boeing did all right. I tell you what, Deere was Deere was good.
IWM Russell 2000 down 0.63%, so not too bad, but still kind of flat across the board.
Those are small caps, by the way. Yeah.
GameStop is actually an IWM, so it's still considered a small cap.
Yeah.
You saw that guy double down on his GameStop bet again?
That one guy, I don't know why he did that. I feel like he did that just to cover himself. Because they asked him in the hearing, would he buy it now? And you couldn't say no because he'll look guilty for a pump and dump. So he had to say, I'm still buying it. I see some fundamentals. I bought it because of the fundamentals. And like, how do you? It's so sad because it's like you can't prove I didn't. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the only way to prove that I did is to buy more. I don't think he's really, I don't think he can't be that bought into that company.
To be honest, man, he did get a good trade because he was in it early. He was in it.
No, he deserves everything he got. I'm not saying anything bad about him.
Yeah.
I just feel that he's in the crosshairs, and I think that move that he's making now is just he's doubling down on on his innocence by buying some now and being willing to lose $1 million of that 53 million or whatever he made.
You go, Roaring Kitty. You go, man. So just taking a quick look at the Dow. This was the only one that was positive for the week. You can see the price action kind of bumped up in resistance up here. So we'll see what happens next week. Still above its 20, which is a good sign. But we'll see what happens next week. You got any Dow stocks right now, Tom?
Unfortunately, I'm not sure about. I'm in Boeing. I think that's a Dow stock, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she's still a Dow.
And I will be out early. I'll be out early this week.
So for the entirety of the year, we see our little drop here induced by the whole Wall Street bets fallout. I mean, everything took a dip late January, early February. They recovered from that and still just approaching a little bit of resistance. So we'll watch the Dow. The Qs We ran into a little bit of weakness this week also. You can see it started a little high here on 16th on Tuesday, and it never reached those highs again. So the tech sector did take a little bit of a beating this week. That could have been because of, the 10-year note, rising this week. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but that's one of the main reasons for this drop here. There's a lot of outside forces that can affect stocks. The stocks are fairly weak. It's just outside events that are just strong. So that's what happened with the Qs. For the year, we can still see some choppy action for the Qs. You can see it bouncing.
Well, I like it. It bounced off that 20-day.
Yeah, a lot. It's been hitting it up a lot. You can see that as strong because it still bounces off, but still it's also weakness because it keeps dipping and hitting that 20.
Yeah.
Action isn't strong enough to keep it off. So one would think we're gonna dip here below pretty soon. We could see a dip in the NASDAQ.
I don't like that crossover, that MACD.
Yeah, we just got a bearish crossover here. So
that's a bearish cross. But what I do think is that I think the signal, I think the signal is going to be if it doesn't break through that area of resistance up there, that top area there. If it can't get past what is that bar right there? I can't
about 240.
Yeah. If it can't get above that, then I think it'll breach the 20-day.
Yeah. So watch this next week, guys. Watch the price action for the Qs for the tech sector. It's probably the most weak right now. But like Tom says, if it can take out these highs from last week, we could rise. So just be mindful of that and watch it. The SPY, the broad sector. As you can see here in February, from the beginning of February, it's been pretty much just flying. Flying. And it's kind of taking a rest now, moving sideways from about, since February 8th, from about the 8th to last week. It's been pretty much moving sideways in a little range here. Not necessarily weak, but it is approaching a crossover here. But we're approaching. So just watch that also. For the year, of course, you got the dip from the Wall Street bets. Everything had that little weakness. Bounced back pretty strong and trying to hold up. IWM, small caps. Pretty much the same situation. Started out strong for most of February and then kind of weakened and just went to the side. And it also dipped like the NASDAQ last week and almost touched the 20. And we had a bearish crossover.
Yeah. But I like that bounce on Friday. We'll see what happens Monday to Tuesday. Yeah. That's a pretty good bounce. Because it took out the previous 2 days.
Yep. I like that. That's nice price action.
Yeah.
Very nice.
That's strong.
For the entirety of the year, pretty much the same situation. You had the little blip for the Wall Street bets and then a bounce back off of that.
That just tells you it's a really strong uptrend though, because they all fade, they all take breaks. Everything takes a break. The market is always going to take a break. And what you want to see when it takes a break is that it really holds true to those areas of support. Yeah. And it for the last looks like year to date, it's been a pretty strong trend.
Oh yeah. That's what all the traders and investors are looking at. And that's why these moving averages and these indicators work, because you see it working here. That's what the investors are looking at. Just a brief sector overview. For the past 5 days, financials and energy are up. Almost 4% on financials, 3% on energy. The decliners, we got utilities and healthcare. Tech is also lagging. I am looking for that to try to come back and hopefully take the lead pretty soon. Tech is one of the main leaders of the market. The Qs, a very great barometer for the health of the market. Right now, they are, one of the laggards, and the market is still, not necessarily rising, but it's holding its line.
Yeah. And are you in any financials?
I'm in ARKF.
Okay.
FinTech. The financials, in my opinion, are pretty. They're weak. They're last year's technology, man. You want something that's forward focused. Fintech, not necessarily financial companies, but financial tech.
Gotcha.
Square, those guys are actually leading the financials, not your banks.
So what's the ARK? Is that ARKF? Is that fintech?
Yes, it's my Kathy Woods fintech ETF.
Gotcha.
The number one holding is Square.
We'll get to that.
So a quick look at our commodities. Gold, silver. Gold had a major decline, down almost 3% on the week. And as you can see, for the entirety of February, it's just been dropping. It's below the 200 and the 20. So gold is still fairly weak. Silver's not faring much better. It is above its 20. It's kind of like a flat base forming here. You can also see a wedge forming. So it's in a better position than gold, also up almost 1% for the week. We got oil and natural gas. Oil is up. So when you see a gradual rise in the oil prices, it's not because of, anything Joe Biden did or any president. It's because of the oil markets. OPEC sets a lot of the oil guidelines for the oil producing nations. That affects the crude prices. Natural gas, another one.
Sometimes policy can affect, right? So sometimes if Joe Biden comes out and said, we're going to move away from, fossil fuels and we're setting policies, that could affect markets, right? So for sure.
Yeah, some policy can affect it. You're right. But still, you can track the USO, United States Oil Fund, to see those movements, to see those changes. And it's been steadily rising for all of February. Natural gas has been rising also. You can see a little more volatility with these bigger moves in natural gas, trying to bump up against this 200. It briefly overtook it and is sitting above it now. So natural gas is in a better position than oil right now. Now, wasn't there a shortage of natural gas in Texas, Thomas?
I'm not sure if there's a shortage, but of course what happened is there's rolling outages, right? Yeah. But I don't think what we do know is that what's his name? The Cowboys owner, what's his name? Jerry Jones. Yeah. His company grossly benefited from this whole natural gas and Texas freeze. Wow. So I mean, perhaps there's a lack of supply, and which drives up demand and prices. So that's probably how we benefited. But the bottom line is their grid is poor and they need to upgrade, and they didn't. And
they're paying the price now.
And more than likely, it's poor people that who got the power turned off.
Man, we got to get a handle on that, man. I'm glad the situation is improving now, but we can't let that happen again, man. These governors, you got to take care of your grids. I mean, without
it's criminal.
Power, it is.
It's criminal. Just like what's going on in Flint. Like, that's criminal.
We got to do better.
Criminal negligence.
Got to do better, man. Got to hold these jokers accountable, man.
Well, that's what we're doing. That's why you got to get in the game and building wealth. You can't really control your community if you don't have any wealth, right? It's the people. I guarantee you, it's the poorest in the community, which ends up unfortunately being in that area, Black and Hispanic, that end up, majority. I mean, obviously it's going to be more white poor than there are Black poor because there's more white people, but Blacks and Hispanics are going to end up disproportionately being impacted by something like that. And that's because of their negligence. So they should be able to fix that.
Now, do you got any family in Texas, man?
I do not believe so. No, thankfully. I got some friends and some business associates in Louisiana, and they were impacted.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I got some friends in Texas, man. They're in El Paso, and they weren't affected by this whole situation. They're on a separate grid that was protected. So El Paso.
That's what I'm saying. And so it just depends on, again, probably goes back to zip code, man. Like,
let's take a quick look at Bitcoin against the other commodities and the indexes. So we see Out of the regular indexes and commodities, the highest gainer was natural gas, except for the granddaddy Bitcoin, up 16% for the week. 16% for the week, man. Finally cracking 50, up there to almost 55. It's been flying all week, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that beat that out this week is we'll get to next, but yeah, yeah.
Look at the 10-year TNX. Man, this joker was hurting our portfolios this week.
Yes, man, brother. The 10-year punished me. Punished me. I was NASDAQ heavy. I think just about, aside from Boeing and maybe Salesforce, I think might be on NYSE. But everything else I had was NASDAQ. Everything. And I got trashed. Thanks, 10-year. So
yes, thanks, 10-year.
But I just got punished. And so I ended up, giving the street back some of the money, man. But this is something to really, the lesson learned here is you can't just be so tunnel vision that you're not paying attention to these major indices and all the things that impact the market. That's why we're giving you, what's hot in the street. We're giving you the street slang. We want you to learn to speak the language, and that's really important, because knowing what's hot in the street and knowing what's going on in these larger indices and these larger trends is going to impact your portfolio. And knowing how that's going to impact your portfolio and when it's going to impact your portfolio, it could save you a non-trivial amount of money.
Definitely. Now, what is good though? We're almost. This could be, I don't want to say a top, but we are extended from our 20.
Yep.
Hopefully, we give a little bit of that back next week. Hopefully. Wednesday and Thursday we gave a little bit back, but look at Friday, man.
Jumped again. Yeah. So we don't know.
We'll have to see, man. We'll have to see. It's on my watch list. I'm taking a look at it. So we got a list of our top movers for Friday. These are the names with the biggest amount of volume in the markets. Some of these are actionable, some of these aren't. Just want to bring it to your attention just so you'll know what was popping last week.
When you say actionable, tell us what you mean by that.
So for me, I took a look at Palantir off this list, one of the most liquid stocks Friday. And it looked good on this chart. So you can find opportunities like that, finding something that's highly active and going to the chart and try to find out why.
Yeah.
Looking at your technicals and try to find you an entry point. That's what I did for Palantir.
Okay.
Where'd
you get in?
I got in right under 28.50. I got an option contract. So anything over 29 will bring me some green.
All right. Let
me see what. So we took out Vasinex is another one that you can see it doubled last Friday. The low price was $4.70 and almost went to $10. Watt's another one that did a pretty good move, $4.83 to $7.69. So a lot of these companies doubled on Friday, man, from all this activity. Riot is another.
Is this on the option side, or is this
This is just trading volume.
Trading volume. Gotcha.
Riot Blockchain is another name that jumped up 67 to 77, $10. It's one of the few blockchain plays that does have options. Most of them are too cheap to have options. The price isn't high enough, but Riot Blockchain is, and it's something I may look at in the future.
Yeah, Slab. They don't have the volume, but they're even their price. The stock price is even higher than Riot.
Whoa, what's the name of it?
I think it's Slab, SLAB.
Dang, God.
Yeah.
Those miners are getting paid, man. When Bitcoin rises, these mining companies are gonna rise.
Yeah, man. It was a gold rush, sell picks and shovels, man.
Oh yeah. And CCIV, that's a SPAC. They are supposedly merging with Lucid, which is another electrical car company. The merger hasn't been announced yet, but it's been so much, discussion and just whispers about it that the price is just inflated. And I actually got in around $15, $16 and sold at 17. But look at where it's at now, man. Almost $53, man.
Oh my God.
That's one that got.
Oh my God. That's sickening. That's sickening.
And I only got out of that play from listening to the CNBC analysts and just other people talking. They talked me out of it, man.
They talked you right out of a triple.
Right out of it, man.
Right out of a triple.
So if you're in a trade and the technicals line up for you, don't get out of that trade because of what you hear from a pundit or just a random person talking about your stock.
This includes us. Do your own research. Do your work, and you got to have your own conviction, because you'll be buying and selling based on what you heard somebody else say, and that's a losing proposition.
You don't want to do it. Yeah, so here we go. This is another thing you don't want to do. So I primarily trade AMD. I do a lot of day trading and swing trading with AMD. And this was the 16th on Tuesday. As you can see, this is the opening bar here. There was a massive drop down. And it dropped a little bit more and kind of settled out here.
Yep.
Mr. Happy-Go-Lucky, Mr. Walker, saw this greens, saw making a little bit of a push up and trying to bounce above our 200. I jumped in, man. I think we about to go in this 200 and take out this weakness right here. We about to go to the moon.
Go to the moon. You Wall Street bets.
I'm trying to Wall Street bets to the moon, man. And look what happened. We dropped, baby. So this is the trade I had.
Resistance.
This is a trade I had to cut. When you're in a trade, you are wrong. Don't
hold on to it. Yeah.
Cut it and walk away. Learn from that mistake and walk away. And that's what I did. So that's the 16th, massive drop. 17th, drop below the 16th, 18th, and the 19th here. So what I've been doing for the week, man, is just playing it to the downside and upside. And
gotcha.
Just walking it, just a one-day swing trade, getting in and out, in and out. Now, on the 18th here, what I saw was how we took into the little, our price action took us into the move of the preceding day, and it took us well off the lows of the 18th. That was a very positive sign for me, and I went in on my call options here to make advantage of that upward move, and we got that on Friday. So we've got a declining MACD. We got some little weakness showing up, but we have some strength on Tuesday enough to eat into Wednesday's losses. So I was able to find a good swing trade on a declining stop to the upside just by reading.
Oh, nice. So what were the indicators? What made you say I'm get back in after you had already taken that loss?
Watching that price action for that day, just watching that price action. That was a very strong day for the market. It dropped, AMD dropped big at the open and fought back.
That's a nice gap down. All of it. Yeah. So did you end up getting in at the end of the day and just holding it to the next day?
Or did you end of the day and sold early on Friday? But after that, no, I wasn't going to get in, but until I saw that price action fight back the whole day, man. And that convinced me that, this is strong enough. We got a lot of bulls in here pushing the price up, and that's what happens. So it's really a matter of reading that price action and figuring out who's winning that fight, because that's what it is, man. Every day is a fight.
Since you're in the mood to give up all these receipts, let me give you my receipt. So a similar thing happened to me. That's what happened with Tilray. It's not on the chart. I'm just giving you an example of what happened to me. So that when I didn't sell that day, it had a day before it really made its final push, a pullback like that, and it fought back the entire day. And I did not sell. I looked at my technicals and I was like, man, and I saw it, and I'm like, I don't sell on a squeeze, because I'm like, all right, well, it's so far, I might as well let it go ahead and come back. And it would squeeze, rise up to the top, come back, and keep rising, and it end up doing a very similar bar to that, and it closed almost at its high. Yeah. So I said, I'm not getting out. That's a strong move. That's a good fight back. Oh yeah. Next day it did pop, but it went down the whole day. Dang. Took out that whole bar from the previous day, and so. And then I started playing it in again, and I gave back probably about a good 40% of the original earnings I made playing it, dabbling in it. And so, again, a no-no. If when the street gives you a gift, take it and move the hell on, man. Because this part of it was, this whole NASDAQ and 10-year note thing. and the market is just kind of overspent. But I think, you know, you got to take your money and run, man. Get up from the table.
You got to, man. You got
to know when to hold them and know when to fold them, man. Let's get into this Hive, man. What's up?
Yeah, it's another blockchain play, man. This is one I've been in since January, going in and out and just selling a little bit here and there. I almost sold all of it last week with I think my, let's see, what was my average price? I want to say $250. We sold at $5 up here. I've only got a little bit now. But what I'm waiting for now, waiting for it to pull back so I can add some more.
Are these options or this is stock?
This is just straight share.
Straight equity.
It's not expensive enough to have any options yet.
Gotcha.
Just straight shares. I don't recommend you jump into it right now. Wait till it pulls back a little bit because we are extended from our 20 here. But this is a good watch list.
How do you feel about the OTC, like trading things on the OTC?
I'm fine with it as long as it's a company that's got, you know, actual reports and things like that I can look at. Because a lot of those companies don't have anything that I can look at. So if I got something that I can look at and you got a website that I can go check out and see what you're doing, I'm fine with it. Like I researched this company before I went into it, just to make sure, because I don't want to get burned on something that's not a pump and dump. I ain't got time for that.
Ain't nobody got time
for that.
Right. Oh man.
Research any small name you see on the $5. Research that name. Research that company. You know, go to a site like Seeking Alpha. Check out their financial statements. Research them. See if they are legit.
And how long have they been out? Like, have they reported any earnings or?
They have. They've been out. I want to say it's a 4-year company, but they just blew up last year.
Gotcha.
They primarily mine Bitcoin. They're adding Ethereum also.
Gotcha.
So this is one we both jumped into last week, man.
So you weren't the only one that took advantage of it. And we didn't even talk. So that just says that either we are both great minds or something else is going on. But I really like that the pullback. First of all, you got probably almost a 33% pullback if you take from the top of that first big red bar down, that first down bar to that last bottom bar. That's about 35%.
That's a nice drop.
Pullback. That's a huge straight drop too. No pullback. So then you get to that bottom green and you start to say, okay, whatever. Now, unfortunately, as soon as Kathy Wood said she was in, I was in. And I got in a little too early and got stopped out. And it hit the bottom. But I woke up on Friday and I saw the price action and I should have gotten back in immediately, but I didn't. However, it seems like you and I, even as great minds, got back right around that yellow. I got in at about 28.50. Yeah. Right around where 28.58, somewhere in there. And I'm not sure if is that where that yellow line is, the 50 day?
Yeah, that's like 28, almost 29.
Yeah, I got in about 28.50. So I think the yellow line is the 50 day. So I saw the 50 day and I said, all right, if it comes down to this 50 day again, I'm gonna buy it. And then it bounced back up right towards the end of the day. So I mean, I'm gonna get back some of my bread and then hopefully I heard Wall Street Bets is doing this thing again. Hopefully they don't get shut down by the SEC.
Man, better not, man. But you know, they had earnings last week too, man, and it wasn't an earnings beat. It was it was flat, and that's one of the reasons it sold off last week. And also the IPO lockup ended also
on Friday. That was on Friday though. So I expected Friday to be another bloodbath.
Kathy Wood, baby.
And Kathy Wood, but she came out probably I would say Kathy Wood came out the first day it hit the 50 day, that day. Yeah. That's when she was on CNBC, I think the halftime report, I think, and she was talking her book and she said that she had gotten the Palantir, and I was like, oh, word? And so here's an example of something that I had conviction in at the 50 day. It broke through the 50 day, and I don't know. I don't want to say this. It did come back. It hit my stop point. I sold it. So you got to stick to your disciplines and your objectives. But but it did come right back to the point where I purchased it. So, you know, I guess I didn't have to take that loss, but the disciplines are the disciplines. So, yeah. So this is pretty much. I'm gonna hold on to that. I believe that if we break back through that 20-day, we might revisit those highs. The
Yeah,
original.
we can at least get back to 33.
Yeah, and that's a nice move. And that's a nice move.
Contracts. I'm only holding probably Monday to Tuesday. I don't want to hold it too long.
Sure.
But yeah, man, that's a nice setup, man. You can see our Mac finally showing
a MACD.
No crossover yet, so we got a couple days for that. But I hope we're kind of early to the party. I hope we'll find out next week.
Yeah, if we get a crossover, I'm gonna hold it.
Oh
Lord, Boeing, these clowns. So Boeing is dropping metal out of the sky. I got into Boeing. I originally bought it at 215. It dropped. I probably sold most of it at like 213. I said I'll hold the rest and see what happens. Woke up again on Friday. I said, Boeing got some good price action. I might want to get in it. And I let that thing come all the way back to my original buy point instead of getting in, nice on it. So I don't know. I suspect Boeing will be at $50 when they open up tomorrow. They're trying to kill people, man. Literally, people walk outside their front door and they got plane parts in their front yard.
I mean, the good news is it's still above its 20. That's the good news.
Yeah, but you see it's trapped here between the 20 and the 50.
Yeah.
So and I don't believe that when it 4 o'clock tomorrow it'll be still above that 20-day. I doubt that. I don't know. We'll see. But it won't matter because I'll be out of it and looking to get into something else, man. So yeah, that's my receipts, man. That's my receipts. Let's get into these. Let's get to the plug, man.
Ooh, what is this? What's this,
brother? So Square, and we talked about Jack Dorsey earlier. Square reports earnings Tuesday, and looks like the street is expecting a penny a share according to NASDAQ. And even going back to Palantir actually beat on the top line. If I'm not mistaken, they just didn't bring a lot to the bottom line. And so a lot of, I think, what spooked the market is is the context of that call where, the leaders of the company said, look, if you're looking for a quick trade or whatever, then we're not here. This isn't it. But
yeah,
we're going to be investing in this company. We haven't even begun, And
that's what Captain Lewis wants to hear. That's what I want to hear.
And that exactly. So that's why she's in, and I think she's that I think she's obviously, she understood Tesla and made a ton of money for herself and a bunch of people. She seems to understand how these advanced technologies are going to impact the future, at least from a business perspective, right?
Yeah.
And how she seems to see things that we're not seeing, which is ironically the gift and the power of the Palantir software is to see find insight that's hidden deep within the data. So it's a perfect marriage, and I'm going to be a third party. I'm going to be Three's company.
I'm tagging along too.
I'm tagging along, man. So so with this company, Square, I feel that as you say, this is also part of the RF.
Yeah, it's the top holding.
It's their top holding. And if you notice, when PayPal announced earnings, of course, they crushed it. And their stock went over 300 before the big NASDAQ pullback or whatever. So barring any earnings surprise to the downside, which I can't even imagine.
Nah, me neither.
And the street's expectations are so low. And this Bitcoin stuff, they're one of the places where you can buy and trade Bitcoin, and small business still uses Square. It's just so hard to bet against this company right now. I'm a holder, and I'm thinking of splitting my Boeing into a little more of this and a little more Palantir.
I like that.
And banking on letting Kathy Woods ride me back to the top. So that's one of my that's the plug. That's one of my plugs for the week.
I like that, man. That's top notch. That's a great looking chart too, man. I don't see hardly much weakness at all here, man. Every red has been taken out. This is beautiful, man.
Yeah, I mean, and unfortunately, thankfully you didn't go back to January where I watched it go down to under 200 and then watched it climb all the way back up. But it definitely it's it was like 198 or something, somewhere in there, 190, and it just has been on a tear since then until the NASDAQ turned around with the 10 year.
Yeah.
So rise.
And it recovered that quick. Look at that right there. It took off those.
Look at that.
Quick. Like it went nothing. Inside bar, take off.
Came right back out.
I like that.
So, I'm a holder. I'm a holder until, probably maybe 310, 320. And then I'll take my ball and go home. Yeah, man. So I guess close us out, man. What do we take away from the day?
Ooh, man, that's a lot of information, man. Just stay abreast of, the market itself and also outside interference, natural disasters, that stuff can move the markets, the 10-year note, there's a lot of things that affect the market. And as a market participant, it's our job to stay abreast of all of that. Just educate yourself. A closing statement, trade what's happening, not what you think is going to happen.
Yeah. So any of the things that we telling you, we saw like tomorrow, again, I thought Boeing was going to, and it did break through its 50-day and it closed above it. And I'm thinking, okay, the industrial seemed to be, on the move. I'm gonna get in a little early on this one, and I think the next level of resistance is like 245.
Wow!
Right.
So it's got room to run if it can get right.
If it can ever get right, and this is the ultimate can't get right, and so But again, the point is now I have news after that happens on Friday. I have news that says, they're dropping bombs on people's houses, metal bombs. So I don't think that that's something that I need to be involved in until they figure that out. So I may get rid of it, let it dip down, make some money somewhere else. And if they get their stuff together, maybe I'll get back in at a lower price, hopefully. If not, if it pops tomorrow, then that's a different story altogether. But I also want to say that today is the anniversary of Malcolm X's killing and murder, assassination. And it's just obviously that's a tragedy. And of course, it's so-called Black History Month, and Black History Month every month, as far as I'm concerned. But I do want to say that it's we Black people, as being brought here, human trafficking, enslaved Africans being brought here, we were the capital in capitalism.
Oh, yeah.
And so I think it is an affront to our ancestors and our own personal dignity and our legacy to not be invested in the capital markets, right? I think it's one of those things that it's just you're deciding not to take advantage of something that the system that you're in regardless. It's not like you're not in the system because you're not trading or investing, right? You are playing a part in capitalism. And so that's why I say own your masters, own what you consume, own what you produce, and own real estate, own where you live, or where people want to live. So that's how I want to close, man. Good call, man. Great show.
I like it. I think that's nothing else need to be said. Own your masters.
Own your masters, man. Good call. Talk to you next week.
Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next week.